Hey, welcome back. Riding season's on, so we gotta get out there and get after it. So this was the day after my last video where we came back and we got a little more riding in, and today it's Colin and I cruising around doing part of Three Hills. There's another group out here. They went to tackle Sledgehammer, which is a pretty hard switchback. I wouldn't mind going in there, but somewhere in there we get a little separated. That doesn't matter. This is fun too, and Colin and I have some of our own challenges. Yeah, so conditions are really good, and there's only a little bit of ice left in here. There's a little bit coming up in front of me right here and down over the hill, but nothing that's going to hold us up and nothing that closes out the woods. So we end up doing about half of this loop and get a little caught up on a hill, and then we ride the pit a little bit, and then we head back out into some double track. But most of that I'll exclude because I'll just cover this half loop. But for sure, I'm going to be back down here, and there's going to be some videos that'll probably be fairly entertaining for you as I struggle my way up some of these hills, because that's the challenge that's in front of me. Prospector's coming up in late August, early September, I guess late August, end of August, and that one's on a ski hill, much like Crab Mountain, and it's going to be hard.
I remember the other side would be better.
So where is Colin? There's Colin. Being early in the season, Colin's complaining about soft and sore hands, and as a corporate guy, I'd expect nothing less, but hey man, sometimes you just gotta harden the fuck up.
My hands hurt.
I always like this ride down along the river, but I have visions of hitting like a little root or something and sending my bike down into the river, which does not appeal to me in the least.
Missed the clutch, eh?
Maybe that's a good topic for a subsequent video. That topic being fear. So my fear of my bike going down over the hill and into the water, I'm not sure how rational that is, but there are things there where you think of stuff, you manifest it in your mind, and it holds you back in reality. And if you can push against that a little bit, that's where you can get through the next kind of trough and up the next plateau for your skill sets and your riding ability. And that is something I need to work on. I don't subscribe to the what used to be a bumper sticker or a window sticker for guys driving around in shitty Hondas that said no fear, and then they would have other things like Alpine audio, so you knew which car to break into to get the better stereo. I don't really subscribe to that. A little bit of fear, as long as you can work through it and you're mitigating and managing those fears or the potential reality of those coming to fruition, like a bad crash, like this one right here. Look at me. I could have got badly injured there. Kidding. But what you don't want to do is play up too far to one side or the other. Find your happy spot in the middle, challenge yourself, and work through it.
Kind of fucked myself up there.
Anyway, topic for a subsequent video. Here's another area I can use some work. Popping up over these logs, especially the ones that are kind of off camber on an angle like that. Again, I have visions of hitting it and sliding out and falling over, kind of low siding. That's not necessarily true. I've crossed plenty of them on my XCW, which feels a little more competent or comfortable doing that. I don't know if it's just because it's all around softer, more flexible chassis. But really, I think it's just a balance thing. So something else to work on.
Come pull your front wheel. Okay.
So this one here sneaks up on you, and I always forget about it, but if you just jump it, no big deal. I kind of cut the throttle as I was going over it, which slammed my front end down, and that's the exact spot that caught Corey out last year and hurt his knee.
Totally forgot about that one.
So we're about to come up on, I think, Shitty Hill, and then the alternative to Shitty Hill. We don't actually go up Shitty Hill, I think we go up Shitty Hill Minor. I'm not sure what the boys actually named it. A couple of years back, Lance and I came in a little earlier than this time of the year, and it was still hard ice underneath, and we struggled to get up. And then last year, with Corey and Colin, we also struggled to get up the hill. And it's just one of those ones that if you roll into it from the opposite hill, because it's a little bit of a ravine, you can probably hammer your way up most of the hill. We didn't do that, so a little bit of a struggle fest ensues. Nope, this is not Shitty Hill or Shitty Hill Minor. This is just a small hill.
Yeah, buddy. I think maybe
This is Shitty Hill Minor.
And then zigzag.
Or, I don't know what the guys call this hill. Anyway, to my back, there's another hill that looks kind of like this that you drop down in. And had we run straight up, we probably would have made out better. But we're prone to struggle, so struggle we will. Right there you can see some roost coming off the back of Colin's tire. There isn't much to dig into this hill. It's kind of loamy on the top and then it's rocks and roots. So if you spin out and aren't carrying enough momentum, you're not going anywhere. And it's at moments like this where you regret going for another scoop of ice cream or any of those other fatty fat things that you did that didn't involve pushing, because now it's time to push. Right here's another opportunity for a bit more of an advanced skill that requires a lot of balance. You got the bike facing uphill, you need to weight that back tire to make traction, you need to slip the clutch so you don't just spin out. So what you need to do is pop up on the pegs, drive the rear wheel into the ground as you release a little bit of clutch and get some movement. That allows you to kind of hop forward. Pros do it all the time, I do not. What I do is the equivalent of the doggy paddle, where you got both feet on the ground and you're trying to paddle, but what that does is lift weight off the bike so it doesn't make traction and you kind of work against yourself. Doesn't make sense to not run the motor and make the bike do some of the work, but I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed.
Okay.
Didn't capture that on camera, but basically drug Colin up to where I was, and then he was able to ride forward, and now it's my turn. And right there you can probably get an idea that I'm pogo sticking, which is to say I've got one foot on the peg and I'm standing, and one foot's punching the ground. That is a legit technique and it does work. Wasn't pretty, but up is up, and we're now at the top of the hill, gonna catch our breath, and then we're gonna bash on. But that pretty much gets us to the end of the video. We do ride for a little while after this, down into the pit, and then back out on some double track. But for the purpose of this video, that's about it.